Hello and welcome to Better Offline, live from beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. I am your host and most punished man ever to walk this earth, Edward Zitron. Better Offline. I live here, I live other places too, and I am joined by an incredible crew. This is going to be a week-long extravaganza, roughly 12 and a half hours of what I want to say is radio, but I just mean the detritus of society and great reporters coming here and reporting live-ish from the largest consumer electronics show, I think, in the world. And I just have an incredible crew tonight. I have Robert Evans, of course, the famous podcaster,
representing the detritus section of the team. Yes,
yes, and Gare Davis, of course,
representing the lower southeast of the United States.
I am, of course, representing the perverts, and Ed Ongweso Jr., one of my two wonderful reporters who are joining with me this entire week. Ed, thank you so much for coming here.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so why are we doing this and what are we doing? So I want to walk you through what the experience is like. We are sat in a recessed level of the Venetian hotel. In the other room is a full bar that we set up just for people to come in. Our guests, Robert, Gare, Ed, Matasowski, our wonderful producer, and we're going to be doing this live to tape all week. This is going to be basically a tech radio show about a show that has no heart and no soul. A show that, as Gare correctly said earlier, is basically the same show as a year ago, except a year ago I was a terrified baby. I had just got handed the sword of podcasting. I was afraid of the microphone. Now the microphone is afraid of me. Mm-hmm. And the important thing is that I brought everyone together not just to talk to you about this show, but I want to give everyone a temperature check of this fucking hellhole. Because what happens is reporters come here every year and they kind of walk in like they have to visit their racist uncle, except their racist uncle doesn't say racism, he says artificial intelligence every fucking year. And generally everyone here feels kind of miserable. I refuse to have that for my people. I refuse to have that for anyone in my orbit. So I set up a week-long piss-up where we talk about technology with people who actually know what the hell they're talking about and care about it. So yeah, welcome to the Consumer Electronics Show. Gare, Robert, you have actually seen things today, though. Ed and I only just got in today. What have you seen? What horrors?
Today I did 5 hours of back-to-back panels on artificial intelligence at the Aria. And it included a number of great moments, including an entire room full of people led by the folks on the panel laughing about people losing their jobs due to artificial intelligence.
Oof. So how did that happen? Like, what were they laughing at?
The MC came up and she was like, okay, I'm going to do some yes or no questions. And one of them was, there's going to be a lot of job losses due to AI. And like I can actually pull up who they were from, but like there was an initial attempt to be like, no, well, it'll just be like job, the changes in the way jobs are lost. And then someone was like, no, there's going to be a lot of job losses. And everybody started cackling in the entire room.
Oh my God.
It was like one of the most ghoulish experiences I've had here. I've got the audio queued up, so we'll listen to it.
We can loop that in there. That's fucking disgusting.
Yeah, it was pretty vile. And then there was a great moment where, like, the first panel I did today was about like AI, using AI in Hollywood, and so the founder of that company, Secret Level, that does like video game themed videos on Netflix and stuff.
Amazon Prime Video.
Amazon Prime. Sorry. I got it wrong.
Jesus, Robert.
But he was also one of the team members behind that all AI Coca-Cola Christmas ad that everybody hated.
Which I did not realize until you made that connection for me that it's those guys. So if you loved those visuals,
wait. So it was the actual company who did the Coke one.
Well, there were three companies, but his company was one of them.
Wait, it took three companies to make that piece of shit.
To make the greatest piece of art that's ever been made in human history.
And I don't know what they were doing because he came up to show videos that he had just made by like inputting text into an automatic image generator, like little movies that he'd made, which also looked like shit, but looked exactly as good as the fucking Christmas ad. So I'm like, what were all those companies doing on that fucking Christmas ad?
Laundering money.
Laundering money, yes.
How much did it cost again?
This sounds, this cost $50 million.
Yeah.
No, we can't do accounting due to stuff. I wonder how much fraud there is like that in AI at this point. Like how many just guys exist for like, I'll do your AI integration, and they just dick around for 3 months and then they connect ChatGPT to something.
I'm sure it was still cheaper than like the traditional Coke things, but I'm sure there's a lot of
I'm not sure that's even true anymore.
Like, they don't get a real polar bear. Like,
no, they certainly
don't. Like, if they did that, maybe even then, I don't think it would be as expensive. And it definitely wasn't. It was definitely not cheaper on the actual AI side, because news came out a day or two ago that apparently the $200 a month ChatGPT subscription loses them money. And this is the thing. This is where we are in the tech industry at this point. We're in this world where we're meant to get extremely erect over the idea of a Coca-Cola ad that looks like it was made by the same people as the Black Hole Sun video. And then we're meant to also look at like the apps we use and they fucking suck. And then we come here to CES and they're like, you know what's going to happen next year? The exact same thing. That we have nothing. There's AI in an oven now, I think.
Oh, I'm very excited. And a grill. There's a grill that has an LLM integrated into it.
The most exciting thing is that it only gets smarter. It's only going to get better.
Well, that's what Jason from Secret Level said when he played a video of like a bank heist chase where the main character, every time it cut back to him, he was dressed differently and his face was different. At one point, he's just driving down a normal city street, but there's randomly fires every 30 feet in the road because the AI just hallucinated them.
Yes.
At a certain point, he crashes and he's on the run from the cops. And every time it cuts back to the cops chasing him, there's more or less cops from scene to scene.
This is amazing.
That's the most realistic bit.
That actually is very realistic.
Union rules. I got a 15-minute break.
Listen, it took us $50 million, but we redid a 6-star chase in Grand Theft Auto 5.
No, someone said it wasn't overtime, and they were like, "Oh, so I got to do paperwork."
No, when we were in Chicago running away from police, if you turned the wrong corner, there would be more or less cops than what you thought there were.
True.
So hey, you got to give them maybe the benefit of the doubt.
What I want to see someone
we have qualified immunity for that,
because he was emphatic that like all I did was read a script send a script to this thing
bullshit.
and it just put it out.
They love it.
So like this is unedited, from that. And so what I really want to do is put the script to Heat into one of these things and just see what the big gunfight from Heat looks like in this. Does it have that Michael Mann quality?
Yeah, that's what it's
trying to think of what I put into it. The Boris Balkan scene from the end of The Ninth Gate where he's setting himself on fire. I would love to see what they're going to do with.
Yeah,
but they also lie.
How about Antichrist?
I've never
see how they do that.
The end of Kids. Mm-hmm. Okay, moving on.
Nymphomaniac. Let's just run that through. See what ChatGPT makes of it.
This is their favorite lie, though. They're like, oh, yeah, it's just as simple as a prompt.
Yeah.
Even the Coke ad, they're like, we have an editor. Mm-hmm. We have an editor. We have a separate colorist because it looks like shit and also probably looks completely different. This is the slop they want to give us.
Well, and they're absolutely like hiring like VFX like cleanup artists to like touch up all of those visuals to make them like in any way publishable.
And the colors were completely fucked on this. And he complained because all of the comments on this video, which had, by the way, for this company, the big thing, everyone in the room clapped when they played these things. I looked on YouTube. The best of them had like 50,000 views. Like some of them were just like 5,000 or 6,000. And the color grading, everyone in the comments is like, the colors on this look like shit. His clothing changes. And Jason like referenced that and is like, yeah, I know people had that complaint, but come on guys, this is the worst it's ever going to look. Like that line, that's a line hearing.
I keep seeing also. This is the dumbest ChatGPT is ever going to
take a shot.
Yeah. I love that that's also their defense.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, it sucks.
Yeah, this piece of
but it's
shit
all uphill from here. Like
we've all lived through the last 8 years. If there's one thing everyone knows, it's that things only get dumber.
Yeah,
like
well, my shadow theory is because I got OpenAI's 01 model to do typos. Mm-hmm. I hope this is not really something I've proven in any way, and indeed the academics have asked about it, have not returned my emails. Due to woke, and it's that I saw typos, and I'm hoping that model collapse is happening. I hope they've fed the synthetic data into it, destroying these models, because that would actually be the funniest and dumbest way that ChatGPT just starts like going on the fritz. Mm-hmm. Because that's what model collapse, just for listeners who don't know. You go back to March. You should have been listening to all the episodes. You got it. Not my fault. Model collapse is when you feed, instead of real training data from real human beings, synthetic stuff created by another model. The problem is that human beings are magnificent creatures, very strange. Our fuck-ups are actually quite hard to recreate. Those fuck-ups are important for informing things like how words and logic are created. So if you have a synthetic version, there is something that no one really understands that fucks the whole thing up. Anyway, they are currently feeding synthetic data into all of these models. So what I'm hoping is it fucks them up big time, because that would be the funniest thing, because there's no fixing it.
Well, there was a comment like that in, I think it was, let's see, which one of these? Just want to make sure I'm getting the AI cinematic spatial and XR, which was about XR is extended reality,
Right.
And there was a comment from, I think it was Rebecca Barkin, but I may be wrong about that. It was one of the people on the panel. It might have been Katie Henson, but like something along the lines of, hey, we're still going to need human beings to be making stuff, because like otherwise there won't be anything to feed into the models. Like they were,
That's
they were
so
literally,
cool.
I forget exactly who it was, but like that was,
But not too
like
many
something
of
I
them,
like underlined in my notes of the panel is like, okay, so you know what you're doing here.
It's also cool that like the point of humans is to like make things to feed into a model. That's all that matters, is that as long as we can feed the model, that's fine.
Yeah,
That's the only value we have.
You're here
Yeah.
for the market, and you're here for the model.
Yeah.
Those are the most important things.
And what's important to know as well is anyone saying that is not thinking too hard about it, because they need more training data than exists.
Yes.
Like 5 to 15 times, and they don't have it. We're in the stupidest fucking era ever. There's a panel like a panel where people are like, wouldn't it be cool if a bunch of people lost their jobs? They should turn into that scene from Kingsman.
Yeah.
Like
That's exactly what I thought.
I can change. And it's like, this is one of the reasons that I really wanted to pull this together as well, because CES, I don't think, the way CES has been covered traditionally, and actually, Gare and Robert really opened my eyes to this last year, because I've been avoiding panels for the 12 odd years I've been at CES.
It's easily the best way to see what kind of brainworms are going around, because people are up there just talking, and no one expects to be challenged or there to be anyone in the room who's not completely taking the Kool-Aid.
But what's insane is, even on the floor, I hadn't looked at it properly. I'd always been like, I'm just here because I have client share. So to explain the history of this, I've got the bar, I've got the suite. Previously, I was with my dear friend Kevin Raposo, who works at Easy PR, otherwise not mention the agency again. We would have this suite to just kind of network with people, have clients, journalists, and we stopped doing it after COVID just because it was a lot of fucking money for just a piss up, which is always fun. However, the way I used to look at the show was just like, this is all, I almost like took it in good faith. I was like, these people wouldn't spend $100,000 on a booth where they're lying. Well, wouldn't you know? And since I started doing better offline, I was truthfully a bit scared when I met with you two last year. I was a bit freaked out. Now I'm not. I'm very excited. But also, I was just flat out wrong about big tech. I thought I really at that point was just like, look, Facebook's evil, Meta's evil, but they have something that they get something. Like Google, same deal. They'd never do something really fucking stupid again and again. And they would. And everyone here would. And there are things that are at CES every year that never get made. If anyone sees the laundry folding robot,
That's one of my
if you
favorite
see them,
CES vaporware stories.
they are like, they have been here. I have been coming to CES since 2011, and those motherfuckers have been promising to fold my laundry ever since.
Yeah, 2010 was my first year.
Nice.
And I think what keyed me into like what was really going on here was the best product and show that year that won the award was the Motorola Droid, which was not a functional product and did not exist on the show floor. All they had was just the plastic model that was working. It was basically just a digital photo case that was
Very
just
good.
Running still screenshots
just
of
the
what
box.
they thought the phone would look, because Android was still new at this point, and it won Best in Show, and there were functional phones at the show that year.
Yeah.
And so I remember sending to one of the editors at TechCrunch an
Bad year
email
for
being
that.
like, hey,
RIP.
I'm new to this tech reporting thing, but this seems like, do you not consider this a real problem? This seems like a serious issue. Like, this isn't really journalism if this is what's winning here, because they didn't have a phone.
They did
And
the
he
same
was
thing with E3.
What's wrong with you?
But it's true, though. There is a general sense of like, no, why would you be mad at this?
Yeah.
It doesn't exist.
This is the future.
Google
It's
has a slide
aspirational.
at their booth.
They brought us the future. How dare you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is that's 2010. Today's tech media is slightly upgraded in that some of them don't do that. And actually, a lot of them are here. A lot of the reporters here generally just feel tired when I talk to them. And when you ask them what their favorite bit of the show, they're like, oh, like the LG, I got this big monitor. Big television, maybe? I forget.
I'm excited to see another big
I am
TV.
excited to see what new big curved TV LG
Listen,
has.
we're going to build the biggest
It's going to be the most beautiful.
Okay. With the most beautiful OLEDs you can imagine.
Some are calling it QLED, but it's not.
What is
There's
going to
gonna
be
be
if
chatbots.
not a wall?
But to be clear, I love the big televisions. I love seeing big, stupid shit, and I wish there was more of it.
At least the big televisions are televisions.
And that's yeah, exactly. Like you can't really. I guess you can lie about like the specs and the monitors and all that. All that's
no,
fine.
but that son of a bitch folds. I watched it.
I love all that dumb
I
shit.
don't know why you'd want your TV to
we have
do
gotten
that.
we have gotten so good at TV.
We really have.
It's the only promise
Right.
of technology
It's
that's
going to
come through
fold.
100%.
It's going to watch you. It's going to give you targeted ads. It's going to give you a chat bot. It's going to be beautiful.
My roommate just brought a replacement for our TV, like an 85-inch.
Oh, that's
OLED
exciting, 'cause
for
your
like
TV has been
$900
shit.
bucks. Like it's one of those. Like what the fuck? How does this the only thing that came through?
Yeah, just for a second though,
Yeah,
how
yeah.
bad was Robert's television?
It was not good.
It was great.
It was not good.
Was it like a CRT one?
No,
No.
it was.
It
It
was
was
like a dinosaur
I
with
bought
pictures
the
that goes,
dumbest
it's a
TV
living.
they had.
It was
that
very.
big.
It was very large.
And then I plugged it into my laptop, and I used it to play my little games.
Yes.
It was very large. The frame rate never quite worked properly.
Nice.
All of the blacks like did not show correctly. Everything was really crunched.
Very good.
Very very bad.
That is a problem in the tech
very
industry.
bad dynamic range. And it just slowly got worse over the years. It's something I'm still kind of confused by. Like what
Well, every
what
time you
happened to
leave, I
Robert's
turn
TV?
the motion smoothing on a little bit.
A little
harder.
bit more. A little bit. I swear, because every time I try to
John
watch a
Lithgow
movie,
looks like he's 30.
I have never heard of a television that started to decay.
No, this is actually becoming more a thing. Although TVs have been getting better, the new TVs are breaking faster.
Interesting.
And this is something that I've noticed mostly due to like my friend's consumer choices. Is like I have a TV that my friend gave to me like maybe like 10 years ago, and it's like a 1080p LG. It works great. Movies look good. It's not 4K, but it's fine. And he's gone through like 3 TVs since then that have all like broken.
Right.
They've all had
Nice.
like they've all had like better specs. They've all like looked really good. And then every once in a while, something just goes like oddly wrong. And this has just become like a new pattern with Panasonics, with LGs, with Sony TVs.
That's so
And
weird.
although we are getting quite good at like making TVs, I feel like their lifespan is kind of shrinking. And maybe it's something that I want to like
think-
talk to people at CES about.
Honestly, it sounds like consumer electronics in general. I mean, my fucking iPhone's brand new, and even then it's fucking up already. This This is early schedule shit. We usually save this bad boy for April.
Yeah.
That's usually when the obsolescence comes in. But now it's just my new favorite thing that my $1,500 fucking cell phone does is when I try and add a song to a playlist. I know it's an edge case. No one does that. But I did that, and it just crashes Apple Music now. I can
Well, yeah,
only
that's
add it
an
by
unreasonable
playing.
burden to
yeah,
put
I know.
on a
Why
phone.
would? But,
It's only got 8 cores.
Yeah,
What do you like?
they only have a specialized piece of silicon in it to make it work.
Those are what 16 gigs of RAM. You can't handle that on 16 gigs of RAM.
No, I need my fucking MacBook Pro to do that for my 8 Chrome tabs I can have.
Yeah, that's like.
So, format change. Edward Ongweso Jr., please introduce yourself. Tell everyone about your work.
Okay. I am a tech writer. I write about tech. I write about finance. I write about labor. Silicon Valley generally, and anything that its tentacles touch.
Where'd you write?
I started at Vice, freelance now, magazines, news outlets, anywhere that will let me rant about Silicon Valley, basically.
So I brought Ed here because he wrote, well, many great things, but one of my favorite things is his Kara Swisher piece.
He wrote, that's a beautiful piece of writing.
The Burn Book review, where you just really put the boots to her. But I think CES is probably the most Swisher-coded event for a thing she's never been to. And I think it's jarring for the same reason, in that everyone's kind of just accepting a reality that isn't true, but pretending to care. And it's frustrating. And I'm glad you're here to see this. This is your only CES, right?
Yeah, it's my first
time.
I'm very excited
I
to
am
see
too.
all the fake tech that's out
Well,
here.
Linda Yaccarino, you're going to listen to.
I'm gonna
Oh
listen
God,
to
right? She's
Trusted
doing a
Fake.
speech or some
She
shit,
has
isn't
she has the X Corporation keynote tomorrow.
When tomorrow is that?
Don't worry, Robert. I already have it in your schedule.
I'm so glad you make his schedule.
It's
by
a
the
good
way.
thing I don't bring guns to these things because I would just myself,
Yeah.
like I would just take care of that problem in my hotel room.
Well, you don't look for half an hour of her going like, X is the place where it happens, and that's the T.
Right.
But I can't wait for you to hear Yaccarino talk because I'm
I hear she's a real yakarino.
Yeah. Why do you call it Yasserino?
Sorry.
But also, I'm looking forward to it because, well, you're African American.
Yeah.
And I truly do not know how they're going to treat you on the floor.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to act.
Yeah, I mean, do we think the skull measures are going to be out in force for the X event? Or
There'll be a guy like really excitedly calling you over. It's like, no, we got AI to do this now. And you're like, oh,
No,
I used my
no,
Ray-Bans. Oh, I
It's
see.
gonna be interesting. I'm also gonna be curious what the hell they're even talking about. I'm trying to go in with as little info as possible so I can take it in objectively, without bias.
It's like watching Queer. You really just kind of want to show up and take it all in.
You know, I'm here for the journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's important as well because that's exactly what I am here for. I want this to be a journey, and there are multiple reporters joining us. We have Jesse Farrar from your Kickstarter Sucks, of course, and David Roth, of course, my second elf. That's what I was calling them in my head of the reporters that I hired. That's what I'm calling them now, the elves. David Roth of Defector, a sports journalist, will be joining us tomorrow and for the rest of the week, other than for our spa day on Saturday, which is very unfair, very nasty. And right now, our bartender, Phil Broughton. Now, you're speaking to the microphone and say hello, Phil.
Hello.
We will have a full rundown of Phil at some point later in the week, but Phil has been joining as the bartender here for years, and he just handed me some Sotol. Sotol? I'm saying this...
Soto Parejo.
That's right. It's good.
Yeah, I nailed that.
Was that a mezcal?
It's kind of... But that's the thing. The whole point of this is journalists come here...
It really is delicious.
In this oasis, this is the oasis in the middle of the bullshit, because CES, I was telling Ed earlier, there is nowhere to sit down.
No, they always want you moving.
No, they want you to keep on traveling through. It's like a casino.
It's like a casino. Yeah, it's
No, you can find plenty of
perfect.
places to sit down in casinos. This horrible place is an insult to our beautiful slot machines and our beautiful tables that we have. And they'll get you a seat at the table. Don't worry, please come spend money. And Phil right now is gesturing, because Phil is our wonderful bartender, is bringing us drinks as the show goes. Probably not on the first half episodes, but definitely on the second.
Can I get a Paloma?
No, we have no grapefruit juice.
Okay, can I get something with tequila?
Wow.
I don't give a shit what. Thank you.
That went flawlessly.
Yeah.
That was an example of the bar working. But actually, that is actually the bar working well. No. So the point of this week, though, is we want to be the oasis within a tech industry gone wrong and a conference that's gone wrong.
Yeah.
No one likes coming here to cover this. No one is excited. Everyone's depressed. We will not be. We will be probably not in my case sloppy, just in case the lawyers ask, but everyone else can be. The reporters we bring here, we're going to have 2 episodes each day. 90 episodes? Jesus Christ. 90 minutes.
go for it. Let's hit
Already doing great. And it's going to be a lot. But I want to bring you diverse voices. I want to bring you the people that have been here forever and the people who are just being exposed to this. The reason we have Ed and David is we really don't want this to be a fucking tech... No offense to tech media. We don't want this to be a tech-reported thing. We actually want this to be a temperature check of this industry.
You know, Ed, I always, there's a lot to like roll my eyes at and be frustrated by. I always really like CES. And when Gare first started coming to this, the way I explained your job at CES as a good journalist is you are here to be a terrorist. You are here to find the richest asshole you can find and
he
make
means the
their day worse.
That is a joke.
No, not in a legal sense, but in an emotional sense.
You're supposed to terrorize them.
Your job is
Emotional
to
terrorism.
harass
I think
them
that's
over something, over lies that they're telling.
Well, yeah, and like the the hive mind like groupthink mentality here is like crazy because you will walk into a panel and you will start hearing people say like insane shit and you look around to be like ha 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 that's crazy right, and everyone's like no
Nodding along
enthusiastically, and it slightly makes you question your own sanity.
Never once.
There was
Complete certainty. Someone posted on Twitter the other day, they're like, would you trust a clone of yourself? And everyone was like, I wouldn't. I'd be
Absolutely
like,
not.
absolutely 100%.
It's you.
We would fucking cook.
Okay.
Anyway, complete certainty. But it's so weird, though. You're right. And people walk around and like, damn, really? So the AI for my pet, how's that going to work?
No, it's crazy, and it like because everyone is so bought into it. If you make any objection during like any kind of like
shocking.
any kind of
Yeah.
Q&A panel, like people like are so surprised.
Yeah.
It's like you're a heretic. It's insane. It's like you don't believe in like the project of humanity.
Yeah.
To these people,
It's like you don't believe in Santa Claus.
My second
It's
and third
wild.
one of these when super rugged speakers were like a massive product that you could find like half a dozen booths selling them. I would just go there and I would ask, can I test them out? Can I like drop them and stuff? And then I would pick up the heaviest object because they usually had like logs or something to pose them on, and I would just break stuff on the show floor, and it worked every time. They would
Did you actually
always,
break it?
Oh, a bunch of stuff.
Hell, that is
and
so good.
I learned that from we went to see a demo where they were showing off like an indestructible smartphone, and they were doing it by like. They pulled out all the journalists. I think we were in front of Caesar's Palace, and they were driving a limousine over the phone.
Right.
And then they would do it, and then the next group of journalists would come up, and they would let a journalist set it down. And I don't know who this was. I wish I'd gotten his name because he taught me one of the best lessons I ever learned. They were laying the phones flat, and he just wedged it under the wheel on its side, and they just drove over
Just
it, and
the
it popped in half.
The structure.
It's like, that's being a journalist.
yeah.
But actually, that's a very good metaphor for what's going on at the moment. Everyone's like, well, they say it works. We'll be fine.
Why would they lie about it?
Why would they possibly lie about ChatGPT becoming super intelligence? Did you hear that fucking Samuel? That motherfucker, he's not here. He's not here. This is, by comparison, this is pretty real stuff. Where's Sam Altman? He should be giving like a vacuous keynote about how this is going to replace doctors.
He's doing the real work.
He's doing the real work.
He's building super
by
intelligence.
which he means trying to like leverage his startup capital.
As I read today, we're just thousands of days away from AGI.
Well, Robert,
Thousands of days.
that was said a few months ago, so we're actually about 907.
That was said. That was said a few thousand days ago.
I love that. I honestly, I need to set a calendar invite for that. I need
Thousands of days from now?
because I have Sam Altman's number, and he is yet to text me back.
Oh.
I am bummed that we haven't seen Palantir here in recent years because
Oh, they've seen you though.
I did enjoy
that is true.
We showed up. I can say this now. We showed up with a Flipper Zero, and we're just turning off all of the televisions at the Palantir booth while they were doing demos.
Oh, someone probably got fired about that. Actually, no. Someone was probably like, "Oh, I'll fix this." No, someone did that one CES, and they got in a lot of trouble.
Oh, yeah,
because
yeah.
they videoed themselves doing it, which is the classic thing you do with crime.
Yeah, I remembered that, which is why I did not tweet about it from the
Exactly.
show floor.
Yeah, exactly. You put it on a podcast years later. They'll
Yeah,
never prove you
exactly.
did it. One CES I did try a bit 3 or 4 times before I started getting anxious, which was I would just pick up something and ask if I could have it. And just like picked up the edge of it. Can I have this? And they look at you and they're like, sure. No. Like you see them being like, wait.
sometimes they say yes though, which is why you have to do it at every
You can
booth.
get a lot of free shit
because you
if you're
actually
really
can
bold,
surprisingly walk away with some really odd stuff.
I bet they eventually a security person looked at me in a kind of like, should I memorize this guy's face way?
Oh, it's good.
And I thought, I don't want to be arrested at fucking CES.
No.
My lawyer will just be like,
It'll be
like,
fun.
I'm not coming to your arraignment.
Yeah.
Like, I know
You're on your own,
paid.
bitch.
Well, I know you're paid up, but I'm not doing
You
this.
fucking work this out, smart guy. Yeah, where you pick up the judge's gavel and ask if you can have this. Click. Fucking idiot.
Well, speaking as a judge, that's very offensive.
Are you a judge? No?
Yes.
What? No, this is not good.
Yeah,
This
I'm
is
a
true.
municipal judge for the
What
state
the
of New Mexico. I got sworn in. I'm good.
What the fuck?
Right next door.
Right next door. Very
Why?
close.
You got to cross the border when you do
A fan of mine is a judge and was like, "Did you know that judges can just make other judges? Like you have to read a little thing, and then you're
Hey.
good." I got a
I
plan.
got-
So Robert,
I got an
You
idea.
can make all of us judges.
No,
Exactly.
it's Interview with the Vampire rules.
Okay.
So the youngest vampire does not have the power to make other vampires. And it's kind of unclear to
But
me.
your mate does.
Yes,
I
she's
al-
the Lestat of this situation.
But I can't. How do I become an older vampire, though? Because you realize that my goal here is not just to become a judge myself, but start making more judges.
That I don't know because
God
I have not
fucking-
looked up anything about what a
God
judge
fucking.
is.
This would be all I'd look up.
We gotta ask the Deloitte
I would-
people this.
they'll know.
They have to know.
I would get made a judge, and then the first thing I would be Googling is how to make more judge. And I would be making them.
Who are your first 5 judges that you're making?
I mean, all of you other than Robert, obviously. I would no. It would be like the entirety of Cool Zone Media. You make everyone judges.
Yeah, and then we can all go to New Mexico and do a blood meridian.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
Well, yeah, there was actually a lot of child abuse in that guy's background. But
So this is the format that you're going to have for the entire week with Better Offline. Because this is also something, because after a year of doing this, I'm just trying everything. And I do think that tech also kind of needs a talk show. And the reason I say that is tech has got everything. It's got finance. It's got basically sports team shit. Do you like Anthropic? Do you like OpenAI? And the thing is, that really is like a, let's think, Cowboys Jets situation. And that's going to hurt someone's feelings. I'm very happy about that. Anyway, moving on from that. You've also got a bunch of gossip, and you've got a bunch of shitheads that you can be pissed off at, and actual real events. I just think that this format nails it. And that's why I'm excited to start with all of you, because at the end of the first day, everyone feels a certain way. Dread for the rest of the week, sad about the horrible things they saw, or just wondering why they're doing the fucking job they're doing. None of us in this room. It's just it's an interesting way when you talk to the tech media to see how they're doing. But also people who work. I wish I could get more people off the floor, but I don't want fucking companies on here. That would be so boring.
How did you feel your first CES when you were going around on the
So I
floor?
was just a child back then. I was 2011. I can't do maths.
we all were. Yeah.
I was a young boy. That one I have some stories I can't tell, but I was a young PR person, and I loved it because it was like 2011. So before we realized tech had problems, we were just like ignoring them.
Well, and this was back too when the porn industry trade show was at the same
I didn't.
time.
I was terrified of women.
I watched Steve Ballmer get out of a fucking elevator with 2 porn stars that were even taller than him, and he is massive. It was amazing.
Just found the
it was
Amazonian
it was
ones.
like watching Greek gods stride across the field.
Yeah, the god of sweat.
He did smell exactly like
Yeah,
onions.
yeah. You know it smelled crazy. There.
And I leaked that to another tech publication.
Very good.
So, yeah.
That's fucking journalism, all right? But my
You'll never
first.
guess what I saw.
But CES used to be fun when I was stupid. When I was just like, oh, this will happen. And also 2011, there were still new lands to conquer. They still had new fun things to find. New things that they could make that they could actually make good on. I think it's been like 5 or 6 years of them just being like, we don't have it.
There's nothing.
We've got nothing else.
No, it's like I was so lucky that my first CES, the big thing was like crypto NFTs, and so
one of the lasting industries.
I knew going into that, like everything I hear in this convention is complete bullshit.
Yeah.
And then the next year I came, the big thing was the Metaverse. So again, everything I hear here is bullshit.
Yeah.
And you've just been able to like slowly watch the life drain from these people's eyes because they know like every year there's like this new thing that's supposed to be like the new thing. Like this is what we have done as an industry, and it doesn't work.
They're dry. Yeah.
And it's odd because like this year is the first year where there hasn't really actually been anything new. It's the same as last year. It's just more AI stuff again.
I actually think 2024 was pretty ahead of the pack, Edward.
I was gonna say this year I keep seeing places be like, this is the year of agents. They're gonna show agents.
They were
We're gonna
talking
have
about that a
agents.
lot in panels today. Yeah.
The one thing I've seen in the panel list is like there's been a lot more integration for like content creators and like streamers.
Right.
And you even saw this with the Golden Globes a few days ago, how like they let tons of streamers and influencers onto the carpet for like the first time. And there's way more panels this year that's about like how do we like get this whole like streaming ecosystem that's like separate from like legacy media and even like legacy like tech media. Like how do we get that into our sphere?
And that was a big thing they talked about in my third panel: AI, cinematic, spatial, and XR, the next level of creativity. As they were,
I am putting a gun in my mouth.
they were specifically talking about how nowadays, like, individual creators can be as big as studios. And then someone on the panel was like, well, not really. Like not in any way that's actually meaningful.
I'm excited to see the new movie from Destiny, personally.
Yeah.
Really excited
Mr.
to see
Beast,
that.
I'm excited to see
He
what
does-
He is trying, though.
Yeah.
He actually is trying.
I would love a Destiny movie, just Wikipedia brought to life.
There was a great moment in there, speaking of like failed CES's past, where they like, because the XR stands for extended reality, which is just metaverse.
It's just the metaverse, but they can't
And
say that
it's
anymore
what they
because they
say-
will get murdered.
And that's what they said that in the
Well-
panel. They were like, you can't say metaverse at CES anymore. They'll kick you
M
out.
word.
But we all know it's a real
Do
thing.
they say Web3 at any point?
So much, my man.
Why is
so
that
much, my
okay, but
friend.
not the metaverse?
I thought we arrested people.
They are careful
That's
though.
what we need a
NFT.
gulag for.
They still do say like they still definitely say Web3,
Which
like,
is insane.
it
That's
is
the more
it is
embarrassing
odd.
one. Yeah. Well, I'm just shocked they still say metaverse with a straight face, even like talking about this nonsense. But also XR is a great term because it's been around for a while, and it usually just means I don't know if this is mixed reality or virtual reality. I don't know what device I'm selling this on yet.
VR
The
goggles.
guy
That's what
emceeing this
Yeah.
panel was Charlie Fink, who was like the oldest of the metaverse.
No, he's like a
guys.
Forbes
Like,
writer
yeah.
who was like an old school. Like,
He wrote a metaverse book in 2017.
honestly, mad respect for actually like knowing stuff early.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd agree with all of the assumptions, such as the metaverse existing.
Yeah, that was my big disagreement with him, that it's a thing. Because they were just
Other
saying
than that.
the metaverse is just, attempts to extend the internet into everyday life. And I was like, no, that's just
That's just the internet.
life.
Yeah, I was about to
That's just everyday
That's
life,
called
homie.
the tech industry.
Yeah,
It's not
right.
the metaverse that I can now order food to be delivered to my house.
Are you sure?
Yes. Fairly certain.
I do miss that period in the media though, when it was just like anything. They're like, yeah, they're gonna have houses in there now, and we're gonna have families.
We're all going to live in the metaverse.
We're gonna live in the metaverse, and how
That
do we?
was so funny. People thought that
People
for
are
like
going
a
to
year.
want to spend money on Nikes in the metaverse.
Yeah,
What was-
and you'd have banks in the metaverse
Yep.
that would be better than
course
our
you would
real
bank.
banks to
Oh, sure.
centralize finance.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want
DeFi.
to.
We don't have our own
DeFi.
Federal Reserve. You know what I mean?
Didn't they have like an Arby's in the metaverse?
That's the only thing that we're right about.
I wanna-
Is the only way I'm getting into an Arby's is if I know I cannot make physical contact with the food.
ooh, la di da. Someone too good for the Arby's.
meats?
For the beefs. The meats are not for you. But also, what's important is I think we need to meet everyone who goes to the digital Arby's and then connect them with mental health personnel, because not
Maybe
because-
red flag.
we'll
Then maybe
put them
take
on a
their
list.
guns.
not necessarily for a list, but I think you've got like therapists could be met. This is real.
Just do therapy in the metaverse.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
Yeah,
Why
I ain't
not?
not doing it in the fucking real world if they're in the metaverse Arby's. but it's so funny as well that everyone's like, the metaverse is happening. And then they're like, oh, how'd you get in there? Well, it's very simple. We have this expensive and uncomfortable stuff. Does it make you sick sometimes? Yes. Does it physically hurt? Yes. But when you get in there, it sucks.
Vision Pro dropped less than a year ago.
And they
Oh
just
my
didn't
God.
they discontinue it?
No,
This was-
no, they just-
Can't have yet, did they?
No, there was a.
Oh my God,
wasn't
I
it one
can't
of
believe
the-
that review.
Well, there was one of the Apple products.
No,
that they discontinued. Did they, not?
discontinue something? That sounds like Apple eventually. Like they just give up.
Check that. Yeah,
No. So the Vision Pro, I know I
fact check me on
get
this.
people are very upset with
No
me.
fake news. Okay,
People are
Okay.
very upset with me about my Vision Pro review. Very unfair. It was the second episode. Very still learning, but
Oh, Gare's got something.
There is, the most reputable outlet, Game Rant,
of course.
Oh, yeah, I know Game Rant.
says that Apple has reportedly ceased production of the headset.
Really?
Wow.
It is Game Rant.
Well, and
so
that's the New York Times of ranting about
Ed,
games.
congratulations. You have won.
You knocked it out of the
You
park.
have won our first fact point.
Thank you
And
very much.
ever offline
apparently,
fact point system.
I'm going to
apparently-
yield farm it.
Game Rant is citing an article in another website called theinformation.com.
Okay,
The information's
Yeah,
more or
it's
less real.
It's realish. It's realish.
the information I
you
would
just
trust.
have to climb
Yeah.
up that very high paywall,
just
which
paywall,
they've
yeah.
improved crazy.
Yeah.
I used
So-
to be able to get around every single one now.
But also,
It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
I feel like it was kind of that was more insane to me than crypto. And crypto is pretty insane. But it's like, oh, how am I going to get in the metaverse? This very shitty fucking headset that sucks. Vision Pro was pretty good. I know my review. I know people are upset that I liked the product. There was potential there. They just did not access it.
Apple has the money for there to be potential there, but I still maintain that Steve, and I'm not a guy, as you know, Ed, having said it
from
for
the
4
back-
hours.
yeah.
I'm not a guy who worships Steve Jobs. I don't think he would have let that product out yet.
No, it needs like 2 or 3 years, but it had
Yeah.
potential. Even then, though, this is the biggest company in tech, the really only company capable of making consumer electronics that are actually good anymore. Like everyone else is kind of like just mostly making it up and maybe putting shit together. Yes, there are companies like Frame. There are others, but like the biggest. And they're like, here is our best go at it. And when I tried to watch Dune on my Vision Pro on a flight back from London, I got the worst migraine of my life. And what sucked was I was really enjoying the film, and actually the giant screen was super cool. But I was in so much pain, I took it off, and I was like sweating.
Well, that was the extended reality of the vision.
I was Arrakis. And
It was extending your reality. Yeah.
You know,
That
that
is how
scene
it
at the end where
feels-
he's like, I see it.
That is how it feels to read past the 3rd book of Dune.
Oh, no,
You
no.
do have a
We
constant-
cannot slander the
I'm not-
worst
no,
and
no, no,
best
that's a
book.
compliment.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
a compliment.
That is true.
okay. But what's important was I really watched too much of that movie, and I had like a migraine for like a day or two. Like,
Did you see The Golden Path?
No, Tim Cook.
that was your time at the pain box?
I did not. I watched like the beginning of the film. I do not know the plot.
You didn't know that's going to be you. That's gonna
Robert, on the first episode of Better Offline, called me the Shai Hulud of content. I'm like, ha ha ha, yeah, great. Googling it as we go. Like,
That has been proven completely true, though.
yes, yeah,
I
absolutely.
came from a different era in which all of my friends in high school, none of us had sex, but we all had very strong opinions about Dune.
Well, let me tell you, I too come from a rich line of not fuckers and not having sex in high school at all.
Absolutely
But my
not.
thing was EverQuest.
Oh, okay.
One might say I was even cooler than you were.
Yeah. It was wow for me.
Oh no, I got into WoW later. It was like getting off of cocaine to do heroin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Barely worked on me. I just gave up after a while, turned to drinking. Anyway, it's just great that this is the tech industry now. It's just the group hallucination where we all go, yeah, fuck it. This, as we sit here and talk, and I know I'm grinding this axe quite hard, but we're hearing a lot about AI in this fucking conference. And everyone's stapling ChatGPT and Anthropic's Claude to everything. And it's like, okay, great. But we are sitting here and every major company is not making a single fucking dollar, actually losing money on this. And I feel a bit insane. I feel a bit crazy every day. Because every day I look out the window in tech and we're just like, our biggest thing is everyone burning money. I've now seen 2 stories in the last week from major publications going, what if AI is a bubble? Which is probably the most worrying sign. Was like The Economist had one that was like, what if a bubble bursting was good? What if it was good that the bubble burst? Which is insane because there is a David Leonard story in the New York Times saying that a housing bubble burst in the 06-07 region would have been a good idea too. And let me tell you, I don't know history super well, but I don't think the housing bubble bursting went well for anyone.
No.
So
It did go well for some people.
See, no,
Yeah.
you need to have the disruptor mindset, right? And the problem with the bubbles is that as they get bigger and bigger, it stifles innovation in other areas because we're all focusing on this bubble.
Right.
So as soon as it bursts, now
Now
you have so many more opportunities
Yeah, 'cause-
to really disrupt who knows how many other industries.
Well, as
let
a
me
kid during the housing bubble, we had to innovate by like eating 99-cent burritos and,
And-
making
and now-
$4 of those stretch 3
And
to
some
5
people-
days.
And now we
cut
have
costs.
Airbnbs
cut
taking over
costs.
half of entire neighborhoods. And that's
Innovation.
so much better.
that's
Yeah.
good.
Innovate sleeping.
And people were they were innovating ways to top themselves when I moved to New York in 2008. That was great, watching people. That's the thing, you weren't really going to have people doing themselves in on this one, but I don't think people realize the bubble bursting is going to be very bad for 2 reasons. One, all the tech stocks are going to take a kind of a haircut, but also I think CES is kind of a bad omen. The fact that this is basically 2004 CES, that kind of speaks to the larger problem I've talked about before, which is they don't seem to have a new thing. AI isn't new, and that's not working. And they're like, well, what if we put AI in a... We can laugh at the kind of like AI in the oven thing, but really beneath the surface here, and I look forward to seeing the show floor myself for this, there is this undercurrent of, what the fuck do we do? What do we do now? What? How do we make money now? Where money and where, please?
I think Ed had a really good point, which is that obviously what they see is AI agents being the future.
Oh my fucking
And those kept
God.
getting brought up. And what's one of the things
What
that's
did they say?
interesting to me? It's interesting to me is that obviously there's a lot of potential value in being able to do something like say, hey, I want to plan a trip to this and this locations,
Sure.
and having a thing that can book it. That's not a multi-billion-dollar industry,
Yeah.
but there's utility,
Theoretical
there.
utility.
Or to being able to plan out like 5 or 6 different meals that you want to repeat over the course of a week or two, and then like plan out there's some utility there. But the way people talk about AI agents isn't in that way. It's about another living thing that they like bounce ideas off of
Yes.
and invite socially into their lives. There was a lady at the first panel today, which was about like AI and entertainment, who was like, and my agent, obviously, she just is growing every year or every day. And it was just, like talking about her like a person, like gendering
But she doesn't
her AI agent.
I must be clear, what was she talking about?
Her
What-
AI agent.
Okay, but does this thing exist?
No. Me and my rabbit have a very intimate relationship.
Sure. We all fuck our pets, man. But
No.
She didn't say which product she was using, but there are a couple of them out right now.
Just to be
Like,
clear,
the character AI was the one people talked
That's
about.
not
the
an
most.
agent. Oh my fucking God, I have to do this. Okay.
Yeah.
An AI agent,
No. That's what that's what she was referencing, because it might have been like her co-pilot or some shit.
a co-pilot is also not an agent.
No.
An AI agent is meant to be an autonomous AI that goes out and does shit and can do things and then respond to things based on how people
What big
act.
part of it's like what Rabbit was trying to sell with the R1 last year,
Rabbit
right?
wasn't even doing that. They were just doing like the very early stage agents, which is, okay, you're technically correct, which is that agents are meant to be, they take actions for you. That's the official definition. But what everyone's talking about with agents, and this is driving me fucking insane because no one's really wants to talk about the reality here, is they're talking about, I will staple a few fucking LLMs to each other, and then enough LLMs will talk to each other that things will just start happening. Kind of like The Incredible Machine, if you ever played that. Just like a Rube Goldberg situation, he says, not really knowing that reference. Pee-wee's Playhouse? I don't know. Nevertheless, these series of actions then allow, theoretically, this thing to do something at the end. The big common one right now is sales agents. These things are insanely expensive, and I have yet to hear of one that does more than send emails and answer emails, and I've yet to really see anyone explain how anything else is fucking possible. And the thing is, people will say agent about anything. Character.ai is just an LLM company that, like,
That got a kid to kill themselves.
Yes.
insane, but also just like has like a Daenerys Targaryen bot that will also be your therapist. It's fucking insane.
Of course.
But that's not an agent. ChatGPT, not an agent. They want us, Ed, I'm so glad you brought this up because it's like this agentic thing is their next bullshit, but I cannot be clear enough. If you think regular LLMs are expensive, imagine a bunch of LLMs playing dipshit tennis with each other. That is how agents work.
I think A16Z is really big on this. There's a manifesto, one of their many manifestos. They
cool.
say every child will have an AI tutor that is infinitely patient, infinitely compassionate, infinitely knowledgeable, infinitely helpful.
Infinite.
And then they say that every person will have an AI assistant / coach / mentor / trainer / advisor
How can it be a mentor? It doesn't know how to do things.
/ therapist.
Slash therapist. That's good. That's
That
good.
is infinitely patient, infinitely
Infinite.
compassionate, infinitely knowledgeable, and infinitely helpful.
They want a friend without having to do any of the work
Yeah.
that makes like having a friendship.
But also,
not only makes it
first
happen,
of all,
but worth.
So much.
none of these fucking people been to therapy, but also, on top of that, if everyone keeps talking about this idea, and I think they've been doing it for years, of this of AI being your assistant, why are there no AI assistants that work?
Yes.
You can make your phone do reminders now.
Yeah.
We're on like the 16th, 17th iPhone, and we can now make Siri most of the time understand sometimes.
It's like half the time for
Half-
me, but yeah.
The British Siri actually understands me, unlike most people.
I have mine set to Scottish Siri, but so maybe that's
Why?
maybe that's the problem. I like the way the voice sounds.
One of the panels where they're like, "Is voice the new operating system?"
I am going to kill myself.
Yes!
One
I
of the
will kill.
ladies on the panel was British and was like, "Well, usually they don't understand what I'm saying." So all of the Americans were like, "Oh, absolutely," and the one person with an accent was like, "I probably not."
Okay, that makes me so angry because when fucking Alexa came out, we did this one already.
Yes.
We've done this one already. I have already done pitching for clients about voice being. It wasn't. Guess what? It was not the future because it turns out that talking is annoying.
Well, I've been seeing discussions about this. I saw someone online try to be like Scarlett Johansson, fumbled the bag.
I saw that too.
Yes. And it's like, well,
What bag?
yeah, they were saying that if she had simply let OpenAI use her voice, she would have been the future of AI voice forever.
She would have achieved immortality,
Yeah.
being like the AI
everyone
voice
would
for
have been annoyed
generations.
different.
I'm like, yeah, just like, what happened with
that-
Alexa, right? You know?
And the thing that happened with Siri, I know
Right,
the
you know?
voice actors,
Yeah.
all of them.
I know them personally.
Gramble Chambers, my favorite. Like,
What a bad business decision for an actress, because now you'll have kids who grow up with like Alexa machines in their house, and then they'll watch a movie and be like, "Oh wow, the Alexa's in
more than that,
is in the
directors will be
movie."
like,
It's
"No,
like
you know
you're
what,
being
Scarlett?"
typecast as a voice servant.
it's Siri.
And casting directors will be like, "Well, Scarlett Johansson." No, she's that lady who everybody has to talk to get a dentist appointment. Nobody wants to see her in a movie. It's a terrible idea to be that.
You mean Lost in Translation?
I think
and that's the only film I've seen her
They've
in.
watched her a little too many times. That's really one of the factors that keeps coming in here. This idea that the voice is going to be the transcendent thing there.
Yeah, and also that it can do more than it can, because I don't think people realize, and I know this due to my accent, how fucking bad voice is, even in the best case. It just does not. Sometimes the things it hears are truly insane, and the more data you have in your phone, the more numbers and names you have saved, the more insane the idea is. I don't need to text someone I know from North Carolina 11 years ago, and I certainly don't need to text them about the burger I'm ordering. Was I ordering a burger? No, I was trying to do a meeting-related thing, but did this fucking thing hear me? But also, it just angers me that I have to hear this. It's been like a decade. I thought we got away from this fucking angle.
Nope.
Very foul-mouthed today. I apologize to the humorous.
Well, at least there's no crypto at CES, right?
I'm sure we'll hit some crypto. I haven't run into it yet.
I'm sniffing it
Oh,
out.
wait, no, I did. Because one of the women on one of the panels worked for Republic, which is an app that allows everyone to do venture capital investing with as little as $25.
Sick. Great. Perfect.
And also invest in crypto at the same time.
Why not?
And the one review of it said it's a great service if you want to diversify, but it's extremely risky and everyone loses money.
I guess
That's not diversify.
I guess people are still reeling from Hawk to a coin, so maybe that might be more on the down low.
I hope
this
Haley
week.
Welch is here. I really
I
do.
love that she is probably in trouble with the SEC.
That would be
I
pretty
love
cool.
that the
Yeah.
SEC is going to have
She
to
should
sort.
go somewhere with no extradition, tweet a bit, and then get
That's
extradited
the thing.
anyway.
These people lack the moxie of the classic scam artist.
Yeah, none of them. Look,
You do that rug pull when you're in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
You fucking.
he was a real piece of shit, but I miss McAfee now.
If McAfee had, if he'd have just hung in there another year or two.
Yeah.
My favorite John McAfee thing was if you looked at the champagne he was drinking.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the cheapest.
It's always shit. Look, he didn't have that much money. It was
Yeah.
a shitty yacht. They had terrible guns.
But he was eating like Walgreens cheese. Like,
Oh, yeah.
hell yeah. He's drinking like Corbel.
Real libertarian.
But
Okay.
like, which is
living
no
on the high seas
no insult. No
till the
insult.
Dominicans took his guns.
Wait, did they really steal his
Yes,
gun?
they did steal it. Well, they didn't steal his guns. He sailed into a foreign port with a boat full of illegal rifles. They did what
wow.
any country would
Yeah.
do.
You can't do that.
You're not allowed to do that.
As usual, the fucking fun police,
Right.
the woke mafia.
Yeah, the globalist.
Oh, I can't ride into another
He
port
was
with a
talking
bunch
about,
of
like,
guns.
This is obviously just because the Dominican Republic's so corrupt. And it's like, man, any
Yeah,
country
man.
would take your guns. You can't do that.
But also, this is like one thing of a functioning democracy. If a guy,
Yeah.
if a very strange man on all sorts of substances turns,
Clearly on drugs, possibly trafficking human beings.
if a guy turns up just going, yeah, he sounds like Beavis, but looks like he's dying.
It's like, yeah, you could do that on the boat, but no
yo,
guns.
and like, hey, I have all of these guns out of there, like just fucking lying around.
You're taking your boat, John McAfee.
Yeah, like you've killed a bunch of NPCs
Yeah.
on there and they've dropped their loot. Like,
And he did, in fact. I mean, like, that's the thing none of these modern day grifters can do. They don't live interesting, bold enough lives to have racked up the kind of body count John McAfee did.
he was like a blacklist character.
He sure was.
He was like Raymond Reddington would come.
A lot of people, including his
antivirus.
nephew, died because they were. His nephew died.
His nephew died.
They had like
No.
they had like a paragliding thing that they did in the desert. They called themselves sky gypsies, and they traveled around like drifting from a little airport in the desert to little airport in the desert, and like a 70-year-old man and his nephew both crashed and died doing this, and then he fled the country for Costa Rica because his whole family got angry at him.
Well, John McAfee. This is why he left.
Yes, that's why he went to Costa Rica.
Oh my god.
My God. First of all, insane.
Yeah.
Second of all, none of the tech people are this interesting.
No,
No.
absolutely not.
Sam Altman has never fled a country.
No.
Ever. He might, though. No, he won't. That's the thing. It's
the
going to be...
closest is like Zuckerberg dressing like Stan, from the
I
music
love
video,
I
but
love
that's
that he
pretty
dresses
much
like Kevin Federline now.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, but
I
even
wanna
all
hear
of that's
rap.
just a Peter Thiel like bit.
Yeah.
No,
It wasn't even his idea. So
no,
like,
this is one of the many consultants that have crawled up Mark Zuckerberg's asshole now, being like, what you should do is you should dress like you've just done a Zempic, but you're also a 90s rapper. And he's like, huh?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Will we ever get him rapping? There's pictures of him with rappers.
I would love him to rap.
He should try.
I would love. We really do need a Howard Hughes era and a Crazy Crone era of tech. I wonder what Mark Zuckerberg is going to be like when he's like 80. Like an Al Davis style, just wretch.
An Eldrick being.
Yeah, just like a lich, just floating. He won't quit. I think he may Al Davis meta. And for the listeners who don't know the NFL, Al Davis was the owner of the Oakland Raiders, now the Las Vegas Raiders, and he held onto the team until he looked like he was physically dying. And I really do mean like bits were falling off of him on air. Like it was fucking insane. This is actually what I hope for Meta more than anything. I actually don't think Meta lasts another 10 years, but if it has to last decades, I hope it's Mark Zuckerberg just crazy and all like, we're not putting photos on there anymore.
Nothing but the entire website is nothing but AIs of your dead grandparents and like elderly loved ones, and
You
Mark
can speak-
Zuckerberg running it alone.
Like if you believe in me.
You can make your pop come back. You can bring your beautiful wives
That's
back.
what he's going to run for president.
Yeah.
That is what he's
And you
finally...
know what? That's what I'll vote for.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I can't vote, of course, as a resident. Just want to really put my government.
No, you can't vote once, but you can vote twice.
No. People need to stop saying things that make it sound like I am committing a crime.
Oh, now don't joke about the title of our signal loop in here.
No, we will not be saying that. Nor will we be saying it's blowing up like a Cybertruck either.
I thought it was a pretty good post.
Yeah, I'm sure that was a great post for you. Sending it to my lawyer, being like, it's a bit.
Look, he's
It's-
already dead.
It's a bit. Yeah, I was.
I was planning a bit to bring my gray hoodie and my green jacket and my net gator and just walk around all of the CEO booths.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Cosplay as Luigi.
That's
sure.
the thing, though. The show's got big enough now that people are responding to me with stuff like that. Like, Luigi, Sunday. I'm like, shut the fuck up, man.
People love posting about crimes on the internet.
People love to tell me the crimes they wish I'd commit.
Yeah. Would it be cool if you did?
That's always true. Yeah, yeah.
I am
Murder
a
one.
coward. I'm not hitting anyone. I'm terrified of violence, both happening to me and committing it.
The only drugs I do are the ones I legally buy at stores on the strip.
Yeah, like that weird mushroom gummy. We're like
Where they
40
don't tell
minutes
you
into.
what kind of mushroom is in the gummy. Yes, that we're on. Yes.
As another
legal.
introduction to the Consumer Electronics Show and this beautiful show I'm putting on, my boss, Robert Evans, sat down at the table and then produced a mysterious bag, I think is the fairest description, saying, "These are mushrooms I bought at a corner store." I don't know
There's a
what's in-
mushroom vape.
There is also a
that's your
mushroom
feed,
vape.
right?
Everyone has been letting me know about the mushroom vape as well.
Hit the rig.
We do not know what kind of mushrooms.
No, none of them tell you what kind of
I'm not
mushrooms.
doing them.
Also,
I'm-
we would never vape in this hotel suite.
Yes,
Right,
thank
that would
you.
be illegal.
$250 I will not get back. Anyway, this is my boss, the Mushroom Man, and this is what the week is going to be like because we refuse to be held by the norms of tech coverage in the sense that we actually want to have a good time. And I believe, and I've done a lot of things about the tech media recently, and this is not the fault of the individual writers, but the outlets themselves. I believe we have all lost the fun in tech. I don't think people enjoy their gizmos anywhere near as much
No.
as I do. I want to enjoy my shit. And I love my phone. It's got problems with it, but I love technology. It's great.
The funnest thing at this show can't be the LG giant screen.
Exactly.
and that's why I'm so thankful that you put this thing together because usually covering this is like kind of like brain breaking. And I love having something to look forward to that's not just the big screen, and also drinking as many cocktails at Showstoppers as I can, which we will be doing tomorrow night.
Every year.
And the people of Showstoppers have been very unfair to me, very nasty. They said that I'm a public relations executive and they will not have me there.
Will they still not let you into Showstoppers?
They will not let me. No, they want to make me pay. And I'm not paying. They should pay me.
Don't worry, I will.
Oh, no.
I will
Showstop-
drink. I will
Showstoppers-
drink for you.
Maybe it was Pepcom they didn't let me into. Either way, if it was Pepcom, I think. Nevertheless, the many mean people of Pepcom, if you don't let me in your show, I will find a way in there in spirit. This is a threat.
Which is mostly through
not
me
that
drinking
kind
their-
of threat.
You're gonna blow down the door.
No,
like a test.
no.
So many
Bring
doors
this
in this
roof
hotel.
down.
Someone is going to be there that will tell me what happened, and then I will talk about it. I will not be doing any crimes.
No crimes.
Thank you.
I don't know
This is
anyone
going to
who's
be
ever
the
committed a
entire goddamn week, isn't it? This is going to be my entire week. Is Robert and Gare and Ed now, and Ed has joined in, saying, "Ed, why don't you do crime?" And I will be saying, "I won't. I've never committed,"
course.
which is great. But this week I think it's going to be a special week because I think over the course of the week we're really going to realize how fucked the tech industry is. I think that there is some life in the hardware side, but I think there's a genuine fucking hole in the consumer electronics side that is just bleeding. And I think people need to wake the fuck up about it. Maybe the reason CES is fucking miserable is because there's nothing here that's cool. Like, maybe that was why I liked it in 2011. 2011, there was still, I don't remember very much from that
Google
trip.
had a slide. Or maybe that was the Mobile World Congress that year. Either way, there was a slide at one point.
But also there was stuff that actually got made that was interesting, that solved needs. And indeed, it might be that they've solved a lot of the needs already, but it's like, fucking hell.
No, like tech was evolving so much back then. Like
Yeah.
like there was like genuine like massive changes and improvements on like the availability of having a supercomputer like in your hand at all times. And I've had the same iPhone for 4 years, and nothing's.
But that's actually the problem.
Nothing's better.
Maybe we're at the end. Maybe we're at the end of time. Have we considered this?
Yeah, I mean, I have a buddy named Francis
Francis-
Fukuyama.
Okay, explain the joke for those of us who get it, but need the audience to.
He wrote a paper that was largely misinterpreted about at the end of the Cold War, about the end of history.
Right.
But really wasn't saying what it sounds like he was saying. But yeah,
Sounds like a thing I should have read,
Yeah.
but did not.
it's okay. No one actually read Francis Fukuyama. We all just joked about.
Like a real Shoshana Zuboff situation.
I don't know who the fuck
The,
that
the
is.
surveillance
Good.
capitalism person. She wrote a 700-page book. If you read the first 100 pages, you're like, God damn,
I
this
use
is
it
so
to keep
good.
my door open so my cats can get in my room.
It is a very long. It's a very long book, and I say this as someone who does very long podcasts. But the first 100 pages, you're like, damn, you're really on something. And the next 600, you're like,
Maybe an editor would have been helpful.
oh,
Maybe.
definitely. But also, the larger point is that capitalism is simply sick. That we must just fix the obvious problems, because otherwise, the tech companies would run well if capitalism worked well. And the answer is, shut the fuck. Anyway, I'm going to have Cory Doctorow to talk about that book at some point because he has some fucking views.
Oh yeah, he wrote his own book about the book. So.
Oh yeah, but it is interesting, and I kind of want to. I think I'm going to try and ask everyone what they were excited about at this, because I need to find out first of all who's a liar, and then second of all I need to find out if someone truly believes that something is exciting here. Why? I don't remember a single thing I've ever seen at CES other than 1 year where I saw a sign for a semen analysis thing with AI.
Oh yeah, all the cum
And
products.
I
are
was
great.
heading out at the time I was not in a great mood because otherwise I would have gone in and be like, "Can I try it? What do you think?" Nah, you like what you see? Oh, the AI says it's bad, huh?
I don't know about you. I'm pretty excited about that folding laundry robot that you guys were talking about.
They're gonna get it right this year.
It'd be really funny to
I
go over there and be
thought
like,
so.
"Where's my fucking shirt?
Yeah.
I gave it to you 2 years ago. Where's my fucking shirt, man?"
He never gave me that shit back.
Like KG yelling, "Where's my money?"
I am a sicko laptop pervert, so I always look
Yeah.
forward to like Lenovo's weird twisting folding laptops. I've got their folding
Yeah.
13-inch laptop now, and I love it.
I do
I
like
like
a-
their sick little laptops.
A weird little laptop, and I wish it was all that weird little fucking laptop.
Yeah,
Ooh,
give me
my-
a weird laptop. Put 4 screens on the son
Yeah.
of a bitch and have it fold down to the size of a napkin.
That's what I want from CES.
know?
I don't mind if you don't make it. I just mind that it's fun. If it's like, hey, here's something that's plausible and we are not building it,
Yeah.
that's so boring.
I don't get angry at the folding 100-inch television.
Yeah,
I would never buy one, but I am like, that is a TV that's folding.
Yeah,
and
I
that's
could
pretty cool.
And I could see that would be delayed due to
Yeah.
the fact that you're doing the thing unassociated.
and no one wants one.
Mostly associated with clothes. And also there is no market of any kind. But even then, they still make them. You still get like the $50,000 LG TV that can run on a battery.
It's like that $3 million glasses-free 3D television they used
Yeah.
to bring around where it's like, this fucker works. You got to stand in one specific
Yeah.
area, but by
Dude,
God, it works in
This
that
is
area.
basically a giant 3DS, but it
Yeah. It does work.
Well, last year they had, I think their biggest TV thing was like a transparent.
Transparent TVs. Yeah.
I love
Oh my
that.
God, that was so stupid.
I love that because they were like, even like the tech journalists just trying, they weren't trying it. They were just reading off the fucking press. And it's like, I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. Why?
We have no more horizons.
No, there's no more lands to go. The Rock-Con bubble in July. I fucking said it. There's nothing left. We're at the end. And I will narrate it. And that really, it does feel like I'm narrating the end of the world at times. And this show does not fucking help. It doesn't give me hope. I don't see anything at CES where I'm like, finally.
No, but I think it's so crucial because the whole thing about AI right now, the thing everyone says is like, it's only going to get better, right? This is the worst it's going to get. And the thing that you've been so good on, like specifically for your beat is showing how things don't actually like infinitely improve. Like Google search is such a good example that like, no, sometimes things actually can get worse. Like we can't assume everything will just get better.
Well, it hasn't, though. I think that's the real thing. And this show kind of shows it in the nothing has got better. They don't show us stuff here where I'm like, other than TV stuff. TVs are cool. I love TVs, whatever. Big computer, fast computer, whatever. But like of actual things we've seen at CES, I first of all cannot remember a single fucking thing that I've seen at CES. I go in, I look at them for hours, and then my brain just leaves, and I leave, and my brain's like,
it's gone.
Okay, that's going with where Spanish, French, German, and Latin went.
So who are the winners? It's gamers, gooners, investors.
The thing is, I
What
don't
else?
even think those.
Oh, that always right. Those are the three groups that always keep winning.
It's the Guy Fieri show. Gamers, Gooners, and tech enthusiasts. But there's not even stuff for Gooners anymore.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh no! If you know a true gooner, they're always DTG, as the kids don't say.
We have been reporting on the cum beat every CES.
Okay, well, love to introduce my listeners to this, especially the ones that came in through the very serious podcast and the Lena Khan interview. That's the people hearing this from the Lena Khan interview.
Lena Khan, come on,
No.
and
No.
let's talk about
No.
the FCC.
No. She said she'd come back on.
There's a monopoly
theoretically.
in the,
You know what
in
you
the
just said,
gooning
Ed.
Market, you know?
Jesus Christ on the fucking...
No, but like, 2025 is the year that we are all going to have sex with robots. I'm excited for some
You guys
kind
haven't
of
having sex with
No,
robots.
there's
some
no
kind
sex
of
at
like,
CES. I'm
waiting for the right one.
insane.
Yeah.
Champagne room of sexology.
No, I'm waiting for some insane like AI powered like masturbation tool because
Those definitely
I
exist.
know there's going to be a new
They had
one on the
one
floor.
last year.
They did, but there's going to be a new one on the
Can I
floor
have
this year.
They only sent us the sheaths.
They didn't send us the actual device.
Like a fucking samurai.
We're handing out cum sheets and lube on the
You have to earn this. You have to forge this one yourself.
Gunnar Ronin roaming the halls.
It's so good because it's like the most like sex averse group of people walking the show floor, and you have these like
so
PR
sorry.
people enthusiastically trying to like give people lube, and you're like, these people aren't these people aren't having
These
sex.
people are from countries where you're not allowed to come.
Yeah, there are ads that tell me I can't. Anyway, moving on from that one.
But no,
I'm so sorry to like the respectable like we got like awards this year from like Real Business Publication. There's some person who's like, I can't wait to hear
important,
what's
though.
out.
This is because like this
What's
is
gooning?
This is actually a pretty big part of CES.
How the fuck did we get gooning into the first episode of this goddamn
Because it's CES. What else are you going to
Those
do with all of
screens.
those curved TVs?
And the humanoid robots.
'Cause-
what do you think they do with them after they
The
don't
goal-
fold the laundry? You know, they put them
There's
on
only one.
the line, on the goon line.
Maybe the show was a mistake.
I mean, this is also like one of the biggest uses of like all of these LLMs is just people using them as sex bots.
And actually, you know what?
Yeah.
I don't mind what people do with that. But I will say, I don't think that they've got anything else other than that. I don't think there's any other sticky...
That's the thing.
I could have chosen another word.
You really walked into that.
Fucking hell. No, I actually can't come at sticky. We
Because
just
here's
don't...
the thing. I learned a lot socially by meeting other weird freaks on World of Warcraft.
Right.
And doing role-play sex with them. That was
Nice.
a way you grew up as a 17-year-old
What race
when
were
I was
you
a
and
kid.
what race were they?
Huh? I mean, usually night elves, obviously.
Oh, okay.
Like, of course.
Okay,
it
more
was 2007.
I mean,
Or
you could have
six,
been a gnome.
5.
You could have been a gnome. Mm-hmm. A gnome.
Sometimes they were
a
gnomes.
gnome.
Yeah. You just tried things on the internet back then. and
Love
you
is love.
grew as a person.
But nevertheless, it is funny that appears to be the one use case of
Yeah.
LLMs. Like the what? Because people are just like millions of people getting into erotica for the first time. Now,
but this is-
our bartender Phil just walked in, and that was the first thing he heard. So, very good stuff, Phil. All the normals are happening here.
We're talking about how AI is helping people come.
I'm so sorry, by the way. There are people who listen to this podcast ostensibly to learn about the rot economy and the tech industry's collapse, and now everyone's talking about their willies and hoo-has and
This
such.
I mean,
this is a core part of the industry,
know?
though. Like
It
it
is.
really like. This is why we have
Porn has
Blu-ray.
always
or
driven
used
tech.
to, yeah.
Yeah, actually, pornography has always driven tech, which is why they pulled the AVN away, because then they'd have something to aspire to. And also, that's a profitable industry.
right? Yeah, you can't remind people there's no money being actually made.
Yeah,
here.
like,
Right.
oh my God. This is the thing. I really didn't think about how likely it would be that someone would bring up gooning, let alone on the first episode. But I mean, this is still more fun I've had than any CES, because you go into these shows and they are definitely sexless.
Yeah.
And there are definitely guys in the tech industry who are like, if they had like good sex, they'd be really happy, Elon Musk being one of them. But it is also weird how just like joyless it is. Putting aside horniness deliberately, it does just feel very fucking joyless. No one seems to, I think this is probably in the tech media as well, no one seems excited about anything. No one even is looking forward to it. It's like a group burden that we all share every year. I just refuse to have it that way anymore.
Yeah, it's. I think it's good. I'm excited for the rest of this. I think we probably should close things up. What do you think?
Okay, don't worry. I was just planning to. I'm the MC, Robert. Now,
Because I got to show you guys some weird AI videos after this.
and I have to pee. So, as we do our outro now, I'm going to talk you through the rest of the week. Robert and Gare will be joining us again on Friday for one of our 2 slots. But the way this is going to work is you're going to get this episode. You're listening to this around 12 a.m. ET. I assume that this is the one thing you do with your day. And then maybe about 8-10 hours later, you're going to get the second episode. Then we're going to have David Roth of Defector. He's going to be joining us. My two elves are going to be here to look on the floor. I will be going to the floor, yes, I will, but not until Wednesday due to situations. We will have a gaggle of wonderful reporters. We'll have Jesse Ferrara of Your Kickstarter Sucks. We will have a real-life priest, an actual Dominican monk. And we're going to have many more fun things in store. Robert Gare, where can people find you?
You can find our daily show, It Could Happen Here, where we'll be talking about some of the great AI-generated movies that I watched today during my panels.
I do not look forward to seeing.
Oh, you're gonna
I
be
do.
really unhappy, Ed. And that's it. You can listen to us on It Could Happen Here.
You've got social profiles?
I am on the Blue Sky.
Blue Sky.
At iWrite. Okay, I don't want to tell you my Twitter.
Finally
Get off
followed me.
Twitter. Don't go on Twitter.
Gare, where can people find you?
I
Am I
am.
not following you?
Now you're following me now.
You're not following me on Blue Sky, Robert.
I
you
responded to
were
a
on
post
Blue Sky.
asking.
but yes, I
your
am.
deal was.
I am on Blue Sky at hungrybowtie.bluesky.social.
Ongweso, where can people find you?
On Twitter and on Blue Sky, I am Big Black Jacobin, and then I'm at the Tech Bubble at Substack.
What's the address?
techbubble.substack.com.
Very good. And you can, of course, find me at Zitron and Gab. And otherwise not. No, I am not on Gab. I am not on Gab.
You don't need
Not
to
yet.
anymore because it's just Twitter now.
I am on Gab, but it's a secret account.
I
Just,
mean, I
just
do-
to see if
That's real Donald
any
Trump.
of the people I'm following are about to do a mass shooting or have just
No, I'm not going to tell you shit because you can see the episode links. And also, Ed Zitron is on. Who the fuck else has a dumbass name like this? This is, of course, the first episode of the Better Offline CES Extravaganza saga. Of course, mastered by the wonderful Matt Osowski, who is here producing us in real time. Thank you so much for listening. Very excited for this week. Thank you for listening to Better Offline. The editor and composer of the Better Offline theme song is Matt Osowski. You can check out more of his music and audio projects at mattasowski.com. MATTOSOWSKI.com. You can email me at easy@betteroffline.com or visit betteroffline.com to find more podcast links and, of course, my newsletter. I also really recommend you go to chat.wheresyoured.at to visit the Discord and go to r/betteroffline to check out our Reddit. Thank you so much for listening.
Better Offline is a production of Cool Zone Media. For more from Cool Zone Media, visit our website, coolzonemedia.com, or check us out on the iHeart Radio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.